Some say that alongside this see-it-to-believe-it world is the shadowy realm of the supernatural. Sometimes the residents of that dimension touch us, and in one moment, our lives are changed forever. America's Lady of Supernatural Thrillers, Mary Ann Pohl, is your real Ghost Chatter host. On this podcast, you'll hear stories by real people who have seen real ghosts. Once in a while, Mary Ann will podcast a tale taken from the genre she loves best, the supernatural. Welcome to today's Real Ghost Chatter episode.
Have you heard about Anchor? If you haven't, I'm here to tell you it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free, and I mean free. I haven't paid a dime to produce or distribute my podcasts. There's a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. How easy is that? Podcast distribution can be a headache, but not with Anchor. Anchor distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many, many more. As a bonus and not an obligation, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Anchor has everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I'm Mary Ann Pohl, America's Lady of Supernatural Thrillers, and your host on Real Ghost Chatter. For all you traveling buffs, there are several destinations for possible haunted encounters, and some with some great history lessons too. So today I'm going to share a few of those places that you might be able to go visit in the future. If you enjoy supernatural thrillers, please visit my website, www.maryanpoll.com. There you will find a great deal on my books, plus learn more about me too. I have had the craziest couple of weeks, I don't know about you guys, so unfortunately I'm not doing an interview. I'm hoping to have one next week, but we'll see, God willing, and the creek don't rise. Literally, I have had sick dogs and things that were broken that needed to be fixed and, life. So hopefully you will understand and enjoy the stories that I'm getting ready to share with you. The first one I'm going to share with you is one that is really well known, and that is the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California. I just think this is actually a great place for anyone to go visit if they're in California. Haunted legends and supernatural lore are well suited to the Winchester Mystery House. The place was under construction for 38 years by Sarah Winchester, who allegedly appeased the spirits of those lost to the Winchester rifle. The U.S. Department of Commerce has certified it continues to be one of the spookier construction projects in history. After her husband and child's death, Sarah Winchester, who was the wife of the rifle maker's son, consulted with a seer who proclaimed the ghosts of those who died of bullets from her family's guns killed her family. The seer, or as a lot of people would call him as a psychic today, suggested that only perpetual construction of the family's mansion could mollify these spirits. So that's what Sarah Winchester ordered. Workers labored on the property every hour of every day for 38 years. What makes Winchester Mystery House unique, apart from its spooky atmosphere, is its very design. The entire building is fashioned as a maze to, as the rumor goes, confuse the resident ghosts. Rooms within rooms and false doors, with some of them opening to a freefall, dot the Winchester Mystery House. The illusionist Harry Houdini visited after Sarah Winchester's death to debunk spiritualists. It didn't seem to work. The ghost stories continue today. Some visitors are adamant that they have seen a wheelbarrow ghost, quote unquote, a kindly apparition in white overalls who continues to work on the house after his death. The next place that I found really interesting that's a little less known is called the McCraven House, and it's in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Now, what I understand about Vicksburg is that it is the most haunted destination in Mississippi, but I don't know if that's true or not, but I have heard that. Behind the wrought iron gates at 1445 Harrison Street in Vicksburg sits the notorious McCraven home. Dubbed the most haunted house in Mississippi, the McCraven House has been attracting paranormal activity since the late 1700s. At least 5 residents have died in that house during its remarkable history. People claim all 5 still reside there. During the Civil War, the McCraven house was a makeshift hospital for Confederate forces, which explains the 11 unidentified bodies buried around the property. Since being built in the late 1700s, ownership of the home has changed several times, but one thing has remained the same. It is a magnet for paranormal activity. McCraven has earned the title the most haunted house in Mississippi, from unexplainable occurrences to malevolent spirits. In 1797, McCraven was a simple 2-story dwelling consisting of a kitchen on the first floor and a bedroom on the second. At the time, it belonged to the notorious criminal Andrew Glass, who was known for robbing and murdering unsuspecting travelers on the Natchez Trace. Since there were no stairs, the second floor was only accessible by a ladder. A ladder never let out because Glass feared other criminals or the law would come for him. According to local legend, Glass returned home one night after being shot, pulled up the ladder, and had his wife finish him off so he wouldn't be hung. Glass was the first person to die in McCraven, but not the last. By 1836, the Vicksburg home belonged to Sheriff Stephen Howard and his wife, Mary Elizabeth. The new owners closed in a balcony and added a set of stairs, a dining room, 2 side balconies, and an upstairs bedroom. Local records indicate that Mary Elizabeth died in the upstairs bedroom soon after giving birth to the couple's son. McCraven's final renovations came in 1849 when John H. Bobb from Philadelphia acquired the home. Mr. Bobb added a front entry area, parlor, flying wing staircase, upstairs bedroom, and a dressing area. Because portions of McCraven were constructed at different times and exhibit varying architectural styles, the home is sometimes known as a, quote, time capsule of the South, unquote. McCraven became a makeshift hospital during the siege of Vicksburg. As you can imagine, much death occurred while McCraven was a hospital. According to local legend, John H. Bobb caught some Union soldiers tampering with his crops, became enraged, and threw a brick at one of them. Seeking revenge, the soldiers returned later that night and killed Bobb, making him the 3rd resident to die at McCraven. In 1960, McCraven went up for sale. It had become so overgrown with weeds and vines that many residents were unaware of its existence, but the new owners, the Bradleys, saw McCraven's potential, restored the home, and opened it for tours. Not long after, the house was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. In 1984, Mr. Leland French purchased McCraven, making him the first to reside in the home in over 2 decades. French had several frightening supernatural encounters while living in McCraven. In one instance, the ghost of former resident Mr. Murray chased him. Not long after, French was pushed to the ground by an unseen force. He fell face first, broke his glasses, and required stitches. Another time, a drawer mysteriously slammed on French's hands with such force that it broke both of his thumbs. This last instance persuaded him to move from McCraven. French's supernatural encounters were only the beginning. In the years that followed, the Vicksburg home became the site of numerous unexplainable mysteries, such as doors slamming, lights flickering on and off, alarm clocks going off in the middle of the night, and, of course, sightings of former occupants. One of the home's most haunted rooms is the upstairs bedroom in which Mary Elizabeth passed away. Witnesses have reported lights in the room turning on and off by themselves and the impression of a body suddenly appearing on the bed. For quite some time, Mary Elizabeth's wedding shawl was on display in the home. Several visitors claimed to feel a presence pulling the shawl from their hands. Another hot spot for paranormal activity is Mr. Glass's old room. In one instance, a tour guide was in the room when a chair suddenly slammed to the ground on its own. Mr. Bobb has been seen on several occasions, even appearing in the middle of a tour. Since McCraven played such an essential role in the Civil War, several spirits may be fallen soldiers. Several witnesses have spotted the spirit of a teenage girl. She is commonly seen in one of the bedrooms as well as on this staircase. McCraven's paranormal activity has been documented by A&E, the Travel Channel, and 48 Hours. Next is a really little-known place called Ghost Road, which is Bragg Road in Texas. and I believe it's in Saratoga. There are certain places you don't go after dark, and Bragg Road in Saratoga, Texas seems to be one of them. Located in Hardin County Park in southeast Texas, Bragg Road, aka Ghost Road Scenic Drive, is 7.8 miles long. This dark, unpaved road outside of Saratoga is pure legend. Some mysterious lights appear and disappear at random during the dark of night without explanation. The isolated road in the Big Thicket's heart is unpaved, dry, and dusty, but straight as a ruler. Ghost Road's name comes after many tales centered around a ghostly light said to be seen after dark. Drivers on this road say they've spotted mysterious lights that randomly turn on and off throughout the night. This pencil-straight stretch of road was formerly the railroad track site, which formed part of the Santa Fe line from Bragg Station to Saratoga. After the railroad became obsolete in 1934, the tracks were removed, but the trail remained useful. It became a link road for cars and trucks moving to and from Saratoga. Legend has it that back when Bragg Road was a railroad route, a conductor lost his head, literally, in a tragic derailing accident. Now he's eternally doomed to haunt the area, making his presence known by shining the lantern that hung in the front of the train. Another story describes the light as the ghost of a mourning husband searching for his bride. She was mysteriously murdered while the couple was honeymooning at the Bragg Hotel, which used to exit at the end of the road. No matter the reason for the ghostly lights, the Ghost Road is a definite destination I'd add to my haunted adventures list. If you enjoyed this podcast, I encourage you to share it with others you think would also be interested. If you'd like to know more about me, go to MaryannPoll.com and or authormasterminds.com/MARY-ANN-POLL. Until next time, may the wind always be at your back, the sun on your face, and the good Lord walk beside you.